Welcome to auction number 13. We'll concentrate on some short cards over here. First item is the Machini Feluche. From the Daredevils collection. Look, it's got lots of livery on it. Decal livery, whichever way you want it. The card isn't too bad, probably on the better side. This is a fantasy car. This was based on rally cars, so I'd like to start him off on 15 Rand. Next item is this BMW i8 Roadster. Some nice detail there at the back. Nice BMW badge in front. So, bit of a crease over there. The corner's lifted a bit. Otherwise, not too shabby. I'd like to start him off on 20 Rand. Next item is this KITT concept car from Knight Rider. At first I thought it was in really good condition until I see that there's quite a ding in the blister over there. I'm not sure what the KARR is for. If anybody knows, send the comment. Because of the blister, I'd like to start him off on 15 Rand. Next item is this NISSAN MAXIMA. At one stage pretty popular. Not sure what that star is about. There's Hotwheels in Japanese. You'll see them on a lot of the JERP cars. I'd like to start him on 20 Rand. Next item is this Jeep wagon here. Look, I like this car, and I like this colour, this sort of matte black. The card is not too bad. Enough, there's not much detail on it, considering that there's no real livery on it. I'd like to start him off on 20 Rand. Next item is this Hummer EV. Look, they're also very popular cars in real life in California. And California's got this big drive to go electric vehicles. So you do see a lot of these bigger electric vehicles, like this Hummer for instance. Usually not the soft top or you either love them or you hate them. They end up taking up so much more parking space. You can just see there. I like to start him off on 15 rand. Next is this Bentley Continental GT3. It's a car I collect. So I've got him in quite a few colours. Very heavy car. Not the heaviest, but must be close to it. Nice speckled green paint on it. I'm not sure the relevance of that number 7 is. Card is in fairly good condition. Well, pretty good condition, I'd say, actually. I'd like to start him off on 20. So the next item is this 1972 Stingray convertible. Cards in right condition apart from their corner. Nice speckled blue. Stingray. I'll show you now something on it. Back end's quite nice. It's one of those cars that's got this little peephole, if you want to call it that. If you shine a light in it, it'll light up the headlights. So if you put it on your phone or something, or a torch. One of those little hidden gems that they come out with every now and then. So I'd like to start this one off on 15 rand. Next item is this Ford Mustang funny car, drag racing, NHRA, National Hot Rod Association. So this did come out in a treasure hunt at one stage, but this isn't a treasure hunt one. I did look. Also a pretty heavy car, so I suspect it does well on Hot Wheel tracks. See up there, a bit of a crease, a bit of a ding over there. So I'd like to start him off on 15 rand. Next is this Nissan Z, or Z as they say. You'll see the card's got quite a few creases in it. It's a pity because it's such a nice car. Again, it is one I do collect. So lots of creases in him. So the car himself is very nice. You will see the headlights and possibly the tail lights. Due to no writing on the side, etc. As this card looks the way it does, I'd like to start him off on 15 rand. I'll get to one of my favourite castings from Hotwheels, also one I do collect. This is the Dodge Challenger Demon. It's a Challenger over there. Nice colour. There's your little Demon. You can see the Hellcat will have like a cat over there. Super Snake will have the snake. The card's a bit buckled up top over here. Turned down a bit over there. Card itself is also nice and heavy. So I'd like to start this one off on 20 rand. Next one is the second of our Dimension Evolutions. There's actually 3 of them over here. My favourite coloured one, if you want to call it that. You can see some play over there. Again, like I said, it was designed, fantasy car designed to look like some of the rally cars, combination of a few of the rally cars. I'd like to start him on 15 Rand. So another car that was quite popular here for a while was this Pontiac GTO. I can't remember the reasoning behind its popularity. That's not too bad. There's your Pontiac badge, your headlights. So you can't pop a wheelie or flip over when he pops a wheelie. Card is in alright condition. I'll never say it's a perfect condition because for me perfect is non-existent. So I'd like to start him off on 20 Rand. Next we get onto this Nova Gasser. See over there, you can see it's lifted over here. It's a car my sister would really like. She just loves the colour purple. Anything purple goes with her. I know these gases are also quite popular, maybe not so much over here, but they are popular over in the US. The card, you can see some over there. I'd like to start this one on 20 Rand. A very popular car here in South Africa, the SUBARU WRX. Nice blue colour. There's your SUBARU badge, your headlights. Nothing at the back unfortunately, you can see the card over there. Also up over here there's quite a bit of play. Also over there. It's one of these cars I collect as well for my collection. I've got him in a few different colours. I'd like to start this one off on 20 Rand as well. Next we get onto this VOLVO P1800 Gasser. As you can see up here, it was part of the Hotwheels Legends tour. In other words, it was a very popular car in the US, or popular casting in the US. You can see here some damage over there. Damage over there. And funny enough, that also adds a bit of value when it's the first card in the series. Don't ask me why, but it does. And I'd like to start this one off on 15 Rand. Next one is this Ford F-150 Lightning. Look, I don't think many people have heard about this car if it didn't appear in the Fast and Furious. Remember the red one that was used by Paul Walker, your Ford badge. I can't remember his character's name now. The card's in alright sort of condition. So I'd like to start him off on 25 Rand. Next we come to the first of a couple of the art cars, Hot Wheel art cars. This one is the blue custom 2011 CAMARO. Like, some of these designs are pretty nice on it. I mean, if you look at all these symbols, etc. And like I say, if you take the letters, it will spell out a message if you collect all the cars in the series. card. Isn't great, not terrible, not great. I think we have the mirror image of this one coming up later. The mirror image is where this one's blue, that one's white, where this one's white, that one's blue. We'll compare them later. Now I'd like to start him off on 15 Rand. Next we have the third and last of the Dimachini Veloces. This one in the green. So I like that light blue one of the three. Again, some nice sponsors on it. Nice decal. Now I'd like to start him on 15 Rand. Next we have this Pontiac Firebird. Like, I'm not much into these cars that, you know, the open bonnets, etc. The car itself's not too bad. I like the car. I like the front end of the car, I think it's gorgeous. I just don't like that. There are people that love it, but not for me. I like a car to come out looking like it did, you know, when it was in the showroom. I'm talking about, you know, cars we drive, etc. as well, not just scale cars. So I'd like to start this one off on 15 Rand. Next we have the CAMINO, very popular in Australia in real life. Yeah, it's a bit busy, you know, this odd car for me is a bit busy, on the busy side. Like the card apart from that isn't too bad. I mean, would you drive something like this down the road? Can you imagine a poor Aussie's driving this, they'll probably get killed. Or as they say nowadays, unalived. I like to start this one on 15 Rand. Next we have one of these Rosada cards. So I've explained the Rosada a couple of times. This is his signature. This is the Honda City Turbo 2. I'd like to start this one off on 15 Rand. Next we have this Lotus EMIRA. Very nice car. Again, one I do collect. The card is in pretty good nick, very good nick actually. Nice Lotus badge, nice neat and clean. Nice looking at the back. I'm a bit biased because there's a car I do like. There's a car I do collect. So I'd like to start him off on 25 Rand. Next we have the first of our two Nissan Patrols. See quite a bit of play up top over there. Still a very nice casting. Very heavy. So we have this one in blue coming up a bit later. I'd like to start this one off on 20 Rand. Now we can see what the CAMINO looks like when it's not arted out. So you've got some nice blue speckled paint over there, the Hotwheels logo. CAMINO SS. It's a very popular Australian car. Bucky rather. For decades, they've liked the CAMINOs. So I'd like to start this one off at 20 Rand. So I do like these old Ford trucks, and this one is very smart. You can see it's part of the drag racing series. Unfortunately, the card has taken some damage. The car itself is very, very heavy. It would have been really cool if it had the lights at the front. I'd like to have started this one off a little bit higher, but because of the card condition, we'll stick at 20 Rand. Next we have the car that's probably going to be the most popular in this auction. There again, I'm often surprised. This is the Porsche Panamera Turbo electric vehicle. Very nice deep red. Talking about surprised, someone has asked me how many more auctions am I doing. At this stage it's probably going to be at least 3 a week for the next 2 months. I'm probably looking at heading off to the US in the middle of July, so I'd like to finish up by the end of June, and I should have enough space, etc. for new models. I'd like to start this one at 25 Rand. The next is probably one of the heaviest castings that Hot Wheels does. And this is this I think it's 1983 Chevy Silverado. The card unfortunately is in a bad condition. The car itself is very nice, very, very heavy. Yeah, you should just hear that thud. I wonder how it does on the tracks. Probably not very well due to, you know, the tyres are sort of hidden away there. That probably catches when it races down the tracks. Just noticed that there is some sort of a bump here on the blister. I'm not sure if it's torn or not. So I was going to start him off on 20, but we'll go down, we'll keep him at 15. Again, a car I really like, and it's one I collect. I like most of the CAMAROs. I just wish it didn't have all the livery and was just plain with some decent headlights and tail lights. A very nice speckled green colour. Oh. I'd like to start him on 15 Rand. Next one is Hot Wheels going into the bike industry. This time it is the Honda CB 750 Cafe. If you're into bikes, it's quite nice. And it's actually pretty heavy, yeah. It's not, it doesn't feel flimsy. I can't remember. I think it came out in a treasure hunt, but I think it was the white one. The card itself is not bad. Very difficult to read it at the bottom. So those of you that like the SKU numbers, I believe there are people that collect the same vehicle over and over and over, just looking at different SKU numbers. I'd like to start this one off on 10 Rand. And I have to admit the next one's one of my least favourite castings. But that's just personal taste, I suppose. I'm sure there's some of you that love it. Yes, the headlights have been crossed out. It's obviously made for some sort of racing, maybe circuit racing or something. Maybe that's what that R stands for over there. I can't quite make it out properly. The card itself is in a terrible condition. Not the worst, but definitely by far not a very good one. I'd like to start this one off on 10 Rand as well. So again, those of you in the know will know what I'm talking about when I say there's the starter's signature. The blister on this one I see is coming loose. This is a model called AINT Fair. I know there was also a treasure hunt in this one, but this isn't a treasure hunt. Basically a bus, there's a bicycle in front. Hotwheels destination centre it's going to, which is in El Segundo. Now maybe that R is for Asada, what we saw in the previous one. Anybody know? Drop me a comment. Again, I think we start this one on 10 Rand. Next we have the second custom 2011 CAMARO art car. If you look at the detail on it, it's definitely a reverse image of the blue one. So where that one was blue, this one is white. Where that one was white, this one is blue. Something up top over there. Right. Looks like it might be on the car as opposed to the blister. Yeah. Let's start this one off on 15 Rand. Next we have this haulinator. It's nice and heavy. With the track star, so it was made for the Hot Wheels tracks. Not sure what the Hot Wheels Peter to an MW is all about. If anybody knows, like I say, drop us a comment. I believe it is on moving parts. We'll have a look now. Yeah, it slides out at the back over there. I think I have this one in I unboxed one in a treasure hunt, just in different colours. But when we get to loose items, it will probably pop up at some stage. I'd like to start this one off on 10 Rand. Next one's a car to collector as well. I'm just not very keen on this yellow. and I'm just not very keen on the yellow car. In real life I don't really much like a white car, but I think I'd have white before I'd take something like this mustard yellow. So the RT means it's for road and track, so you can race with it or you can do everyday driving, up to you. I'd like to start on 20 Rand. The next item is this Glory Chaser. It's always been one of the more popular castings, fantasy castings from Hot Wheels. Due to the fact is they didn't have the Ferrari licensing, and rumour is this was based sort of, it's made to look a bit like a Ferrari, and then they tended to get a bit cheeky with it as well and put on things like the SF. Everyone knows Scuderia Ferrari. I said whether they got an excuse for using it or what it is, who knows. I take it now that they've got the license for Ferrari, who might not see it as often anymore. This is definitely one of the cars that was sort of made tongue-in-cheek. I like to start him off on 10 Rand. Next we have this really budget crawler from the Fast and Furious cartoon series. The car itself isn't in very good shape at all. The car itself is nice. Nice semi colour. I suppose not really, because it is probably a silver paint. It looks like a speckle flame. I think I'd like to start this one off on 15 Rand. Next is another car I also do collect, the Jag F-types. I'll put you about the card first. It's a very nice car. So it's come out in a couple of colours. Your Jag. Better at the back. As you see, the card isn't by far not the best. So I think we'll start him on 10 Rand. We had a look at the white NISSAN Patrol Custom a bit earlier. This is the blue one. So also a very heavy car. Of course it is J-imports, JDM. I expected to see the word Hot Wheels in Japanese somewhere, but I guess not. The card's not too bad. So I'd like to start this one off on 20 Rand. The last item in this auction will be this tuned 1983 Chevy Silverado. So we saw the actual Silverado in green a bit earlier. There is Rua, as in Rua Estrada. So anything that carries his name has got some value to it, especially since he's passing Actually a sad day for Hotwheels, Mattel, Matchbox, etc. So he was the top designer for many years. He died very young. I'd like to start this one at 15 Rand.